relationships, sports, current events, money. This isn't just another podcast. This is where real conversations happen. We debate it. We challenge it. We break it down. We talk about nothing so we can talk about everything.
Welcome to another episode of Talking About Nothing, but Talking About Everything. I'm your co-host, Sabian, aka Save. I also got the pretty assassin himself, old Marcos Mister. And JB in the place to be, old Jarvis. Welcome back, my great cousins. How y'all doing?
Chilling. How you?
Oh, you chilling? Everybody cool today?
Yes, sir.
Oh, another episode number 5.
Hello.
I want to say we are growing. In the last 24 hours, we grew 100 followers, so that's a blessing. And I want to definitely say shout out to the followers. Continue to follow us. Continue to like us. Continue to hit us on YouTube. Today's episode, does racism still exist today? I'm going to start us off with a video to get us started. Yeah, I can't. Oh, my fault.
For me, I'm an illegal immigrant, even though I was born in America. He said Trump is gonna get me and send me back to where I used to live. And I was born in America. I don't live anywhere else. And then he called me an effing B word, and I just don't get why kids like to say those stuff. And it makes me really sad that how they just control their power like that. They think they have power, and it's just not nice. So the goalkeeper in futsal,
All right, guys. So that was a little soccer player that was had some racism in a game. Uh, Racism, in my eyes, still exists. 64% of Americans believe that racism still exists. So 36% of the people still out there believe that it doesn't exist. Um, I know we probably have different views on this thing. I want you guys to, what you guys think? Start out with JB. What you think about how racism affects us today, if it does affect us today?
Well, first of all, we all know by that video that was just like within the last couple months. So clearly, racism still exists. I don't care how small of a level it is. When it's happening to kids, it's more disheartening to me because that young kid who was saying that to this kid, he didn't just come off the cuff with that. He heard that from his parents. He heard that from his home. He heard that from people that he's close with to even be able to say stuff like that and talk that way about that young man. Clearly, I mean, he got perfect English, so he doesn't even have the quote unquote language barrier. I didn't hear any distinctive in his voice of him being Asian. I can look at him and tell what he is, but he didn't sound like it. So racism exists, man, and of course it affects kids more than anything. Like you saw that the kid was crying, man. I mean, it just breaks my heart, man, that is still a thing, and people. I don't understand how people don't believe racism is how they believe that racism still doesn't exist when clearly every time you turn on the TV, there's some type of racist issue going on all the damn time. So, in my opinion, but I don't even think it's an opinion statement. I think everyone agrees that racism does still exist. Marcus?
Most definitely. Like the video showed, I'm not sure what age that
He was 12, Marcus. He was only 12.
Okay, so that's crazy. And like JB said, the other child who said it to him definitely didn't get that off himself. He didn't look it up nowhere. He got that out of his household, something that either his dad or mom is saying, or his grandparents are saying. Mm. And he hears it all the time. And I just don't understand how anybody can, like you said, not think that racism still exists. But I also just don't understand it. I guess. I guess we'll go deeper in that once we finish this. But yeah, I don't understand how. I don't understand how anyone can feel they're inferior to anybody else. I'm gonna leave it there. Like I said, I'm gonna come back and once we go on through. So, but say what you guys say about all of that.
The biggest thing of it is, for me, we know it racism exists, and I'm gonna go a step further, and it starts with the top, because when Trump showed the video of the Obamas as monkeys, that is a strong example of racism in the United States. In the and it shows right there, if it's coming from the top, if they say the old saying, if it stops something to stop, it trickles down, right? So and it causes more people to show that they are racist. And if our top was voted in, like we have said in other episodes, and we can see that he's a racist person, 9 out of 10, those who voted for him have some form of racism within themselves. So I look at it that way. I also look at racism, like you guys said, it is taught. Because if you remember us as kids, or I look at my kids, how they play with different races, as in the playground, this and that, this and that. It wasn't until they got of age and start learning that they're black, they're Hispanic, and they're Asian, and that's when the division start to occur. It was something that taught within the household to build hatred. But I also got a question for you guys. What's the difference between racism and prejudice?
That's a good question.
Well, racism, having a prejudice against something is totally different than being racist. Totally different.
Okay.
Now the definition, though, JV, I'm looking up the definition of racism. The first word says is a prejudice, a discrimination, or antagonism directly against a person, people, based on membership in particular racial or ethnic group. So,
well, look up prejudice, Marcus. What's the definition of prejudice?
You got it, Marcos? Because
I got it.
It's an attitude or feeling.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
So attitude or feeling towards something, right?
It is when someone form an opinion, often negative, about a person or a group without really knowing them. That opinion can be based on race, but on religion, gender, age, or other factors. Okay. So it could be based off anything. So prejudice is a form of racism, because we can be prejudiced against somebody for a religious reason too, i.e., going back to when the head of this country said, we gave the post about Allah. That
he gonna bum him back to hell. Y'all going to hell and all that foolishness.
All that was prejudice type comments. That's because you're actually looking at somebody for their religious reason, or pointing them out for their religious reason.
And same when you say that, like, I feel like now, of course everybody's getting targeted, but every time I see something out there on any of the social medias, they're pushing a narrative not liking Muslims. If you're
right,
Muslim,
correct.
Yeah, you know
what
I mean? They're prejudiced against Muslims. Not a racism thing. They're prejudiced against Muslim. And most people don't really understand the Muslim. I mean, I don't understand all of it. You know what I mean? I really don't. Some of their beliefs don't align with my beliefs, and I'm black. You know what I mean? So I don't think Muslims are quote unquote black or brown or whatever. Muslim is it's a religion.
It's a religion.
It's a religion. You know what I mean? So I don't understand it. Like Margaret said, I don't try to understand a lot of stuff like that these days, because I don't have a lot of time for negativity in my life at all. And when it comes to racism, I have zero tolerance, as you can see. They're racism. I'm not my grandparents. Sincerely, these motherfucking hands. So I have no. I have, and like I said, and I've talked about it. I won't talk about it today because my daughter is here, and about the situation that happened with her. This was literally a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean?
So
Right.
clearly it exists.
Yeah.
Clearly
And
it
see-
exists.
Thank you, Marcus. and Mark, it damn sure existed in my
I
household.
know, I'm like, it clearly exists. Like, what the hell? But I guess to come back on that too, I do not understand how any one group, black, white, Asian, whoever, Hispanic, can think they are above somebody else, or their ethnic group is superior over somebody, when clearly, I mean, you can talk to anybody. You can, like I said, you can look how they, no offense, but look how they live, and it's like, well, if you are inferior to me, it is some disconnect between what you've been doing with your life and what I've been doing with my life, because you clearly ain't got your shit together. Because most other people who do represent the orange man that I see, because like I said, me and my wife are campers. For who don't know, we've been to 48 states in the United States, and every state, of course, because we're kind of out there in the boonies, if you want to say, the rural areas a lot. And you're always going to see some flags or, a little sign posted somewhere. And there's always well, especially now, since he's in there again, everybody has the same old 2024 flag still flying for some reason I don't understand. Flag is torn, weathered. I mean, damn near not even readable no more, but they are die hard going to keep that flag flying. And again, when you look at their house, because JV sent us a picture maybe a couple weeks back of somebody who was driving somewhere, and I had to tell them, that's not just in Mississippi, bro. I'm like, that's everywhere I go. Even here in, like I said, Georgia, when I'm out there in them streets. It is the most, I don't want to put my like that, but I won't say that word. But it is the most trashiest trailer park. And again, there's nothing wrong with the trailer park, but I'm just saying as far as the look of your exterior.
Just saying. We got
the trashiest, the most unkept area I ever seen. And I'm like, and I still, in my mind, I always think, the guy that you're representing really don't like you. Because you have no money, no resources. He's just using you for his platform to continue to get his billions. And that part really just gets my mind just being like, I don't understand how you can just think, just because you believe in what he's doing, believe what he say. Well, I guess he's saying what you want to say. And JB, back to your thing too. And I think that's why now people are more bolder than they've ever been.
I agree.
Because before all this happened, folks wasn't that bold. I mean, you hear about it areas. So it's like now, like you said, it's like every day, man. If you really want to look and find it, you can find something new about something that didn't happen. And it's like, and I always say too. But again, a lot of times the ones who being bold, sad to say, I'm just gonna say somebody has to put them back in their place. And it's kind of
somebody got to show these hands.
Exactly. Exactly what JB said. Like, I'm not my grandparent, man. So if you think you gonna say that foolishness to me in my face?
I have no reserve for that. I have no resolve.
Like JB Search say, sincerely, these hands have got to connect with you and let you know, bro. Like, I don't know what you're thinking, but it ain't gonna be that easy.
Especially if ain't no camera around to record what I'm about to do to you.
Shoot, I wouldn't care if the camera was around. Man, what? That's something called respect. And when you cross that word respect, man, I got to hold my own sometimes.
Like, going back to when that kid was talking again, another reason why the orange people in their administration, he actually said the kid told him Orange is going to deport you.
He sure did.
This kid is not. Ain't no 12-year-old watching no news.
Say it again. He said what?
He said the goalie told him Orange is going to deport you. Oh, I don't say his name.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he said Orange is going to deport you. And the kid's like, I don't understand that because I'm born in the United States.
He was
This
so
kid
confused.
said, like Saban said, he's getting that from his parents because they watching that crap probably in the house all day long on that FOX news channel, that whatever that is, and they getting all that crap, and then these kids are seeing that crap and going out into the world, and just how it's surprised that little boy should have got his ass whooped. I mean, I'm sorry, but somebody should have whooped his ass, not the Asian kid, the other kid. You overcome that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and while we're on talking about him too, I did a little research and I found out that there are 24 cabinet members on Orange's. There are 24 cabinet members. Only one of them is black.
Not surprised.
One
Okay.
Not surprised.
That's it. There's no other blacks. And I think Mark Rubio is a Spanish guy, and it may be like another Spanish person, but of course the majority is white. But to me, that goes into the world of, when people look at it, a systemic issue as well.
Right.
I did a little research about systemic.
Are all of them male as well, JV?
All of them male.
Okay.
Most of them male, though. Well, not all of them are.
Yeah.
Most of them are male, though. So he got a couple things going on. But I looked up the thing about the systemic racism, and the ones that jumped out for me were education and home ownership. Back in the day, I work for a bank now, and y'all heard the term redlining?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I never heard of that until I joined the bank. And really, I never knew it was an actual name called redlining, but back in the day, they used to actually have a pen, mark the map,
around.
and saying, okay, these places right here, we don't give a shit about them because they're predominantly black, Spanish, Asian, whatever diversity or whatever race you are. That's how they always said, okay, we're not going to put money into this location based on the fact of who lived in it.
Correct.
I had never heard of that before, man.
Yep. I'm even going to take a step further for you. How, I spent many years in healthcare career in a field, and how doctors would treat you because of your race. They would not give black people the stronger medication because they felt like black could, they don't need it because, and I guess it's more of a prejudice thing, that we can hold more, we can take more pain than the average white person, or we get denied certain stuff because treatment because of the color of our skin, and the way they treat us is totally different than they treat a white person, and that's based off your treatment and your healthcare is based off the color of your skin as well.
Right. I believe it. And
So-
I'm sorry, say.
Go ahead. You got.
I was just going to say, it reminds me back when I was my military days. I joined the military in 1992, but I didn't start really. I think my promotion from the E7 to E9, which is the highest rank in the military. And back in the day, I remember we used to always have to, along with your records and stuff, you had to submit a picture of yourself. Why the fuck do you think you had to submit a picture of yourself?
To see if
See
you
what
black.
you were.
Immigration.
Who you were.
And I knew that. I mean, the whole time. Now, from what I heard now, they no longer do it, which I don't understand why. I know why they did it in the first place, but it was all systemic. Because just looking now, people see names, and it's hard to. I hate to say this shit. If you ain't Jerome, or or
Definitely.
Johnson.
Yeah.
They know who you are.
It's hard
They
to
know who you are.
Yeah, right. Because they normally go off names and stuff like that. And also in the workplace, same thing. I mean, they call it a D. Do you guys agree with this? I feel, being an African American man, I have to do things almost 10 times harder just to even equal out to, where I think that I should be at. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, all I need to do is get in the door. And I use this to get in the door. I'm always going to use this to get in the door. And once I get in the door, you can't deny me. Ain't nothing you can do to deny me, because I remember when I first joined my current situation now, and I don't think it was nothing bad when the guy said it, but I remember I started working, and the guy said, we was at a place, the lady said, "Oh, this going to be the new you?" He said, "Oh, it's going to take some years to get where I'm at." That's all I need to hear. It was motivation for me. I use that shit to, and I use things for motivation to, when I I hate hearing what I cannot do, or any person cannot do, especially being an African American man. That's how I took it. So I took that and I ran with it. And right now, I'm doing my damn thing. So
Right.
yeah, so I think we have to work harder than anybody else. What you guys think?
Hands down, and I've
Definitely.
definitely been in healthcare as an executive for as many years that I was there. It was looked upon. I mean, if you really think about it, I didn't work with my first black person. It took over 10, 15 years before actually worked with my first black person within healthcare outside of, when I said work with them, as a sit across the table with the negotiation with them. And it was like,
They were your peers, not your subordinates.
right. And it was like, wow. So that was one thing. And then when I first got into becoming manager and director, things like that, it was. I'm gonna tell you, it's like almost reverse racism, where it was my own kind felt like I couldn't do the job because they were scared that the white would look at me totally different because I am a black man, and I had to work hard to prove myself to the white that I was there, and I had to prove myself to my own race that I'm capable of doing this job and I deserve to be here. So I face both sides, but yes, you definitely got to work 10 times harder than a normal white person that in that role, just because you got to continue, and you don't got to prove yourself. You got to prove yourself daily,
Yeah.
not just one time. You got to continue to prove, because as soon as you do something wrong, it's going to get highlighted real quick. And if you don't have your I's dotted and T's crossed, you're going to be highlighted when you do something wrong. So you got to always CYOA. And for those who don't know, cover yo, you know what.
Ass.
Your auntie watching. Say, your auntie watching.
Hey, I didn't say it. Hey, JB.
No, I'm talking, cuz I'm talking to JV.
You told me. I don't think she said stop cussing completely. I think she said bring it down a little bit. That's all I heard.
No, I'm
I'm
not
talking.
sure
That's all.
exactly what was said, but now I have, for the most part, from like I said, you guys have been corporate America. For me, I haven't really been in corporate America that much, so I can't really give a good, I guess, example on that, because I haven't had to like you said, I guess, compete with somebody on different things of that form of fashion. I've kind of always been my own person in a way, okay? With, good and bad, of course, but I guess even still me doing my own thing, I could kind of see some things that I did feel like it was, if I had a lighter shade to myself, as I like to call them, my light-skinned cousins, I think I'd have had way more opportunities, presented to me or given to me, so to say, in my entrepreneur world. But again, I can't say there was nothing that I can see, or heard that was a detriment, to my livelihood. But again, I know it exists. I know it's there. So, it's just hard to, I guess, get past that kind of stuff. And I hate too when people kind of go off tangent, but I also hate when people, do that thing where, and of course, there's a lot of times our light-skinned cousins, well, y'all need to let that go. It ain't like that no more. You need to move on past that, or, anything of that sort. And I'm like, no, because everything that's happened in this country since the Europeans came over and took over the native people's land, everything from that point to now has been systematically done to keep a certain group out and just keep that one group on top of everything. And I said to say because another book I read a while back, my homeboy Jeremy Hardiman put me on this. That's a book called How Did White People Get So Rich? How White Folks Got So Rich. And if y'all ever want, it's a small paperback book, but I think this is another one of those prime example books. Because again, and my boy J to the V taught me this. You can't just read something and be like, oh, okay, that's what it is. Now go back and at least do some little digging and see. Okay, what did you find on if you know what they said that? And this book hit on throughout all the things when JV said about the military, even the VA bill, the VA loan, GI Bill, all of that was initially done to help the other people, and they were the ones who were supposed to benefit from it. And when we tried to do it, it was always like you said, JP, red line was like an issue. Like, well, we don't loan in that side of town. It's like, well, why not? People still live here. There's houses over here, so what's the problem?
Right.
So that book just broke down, man, like all of the laws, all of the different legislations that's been put into place, and how each one, systematically either push somebody out. Well, I'm gonna say either push somebody out and allow our light-skinned cousins to rise to the top because it was easy for them to get into it. And my other thing on that is, right now in Georgia, we have something called there's been a little debate about this, and what y'all think about this. It's a bill called HB 369. What this bill is trying to do is they want to, and JV's can't go back to the picture thing about, you got to submit a picture when you, I guess we're going for rank. They want to make elections non-partisan. Okay, I'm not, like I said, totally educated on my stuff, so I had to look that up too. I didn't really know what that meant at first, so I looked it up. Of course, non-partisan means they just want to make sure there are no specifications on if this is a Democrat, Republican, Independent. Now I want to ask you guys, why, if it's been like this forever, why all of a sudden now we want to take away if a person is a Democrat or Republican or Independent on the ballots now?
Makes no sense.
But I'm saying, why would they want to do that though?
Oh, you already know what they want to do.
It's something, well, in my mind, if you got somebody on that name, Jerome, and somebody named on there, Danny, well, I guess, or Joe, I guess.
Say either one of those names. First of all, you're not going to get, most of them
not going to vote for Jerome.
Not even know who Jerome is. They're going to
right.
That name.
So you're going to win it's almost like that movie where, was it Eddie Murphy? He ran on the ballot of,
I can't remember the name of the movie, so I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? So he ran on the ballot of a name of right.
Yeah.
He died. So it's basically like you're going to be able to run off your name, and if your name is, as Marcus say, my light cousin name, you're most likely going to win that vote because most people are going to vote for a name and not the person, and not the party. So
it's hard.
That's how I see it.
You're right, saying because it's hard to know all. Most time when you go in there, let's say the primaries when they come around, it's going to be the president, vice president, and then they get into your city and state stuff, and most people don't even think about who all is running their city. They're just looking at the federal side, and they ain't giving a damn about the state side, which is so unfortunate that it has to be that way, because at that point, people are looking at names. I've been a victim of that. I've been a victim of that. I've been like, okay, I'm not sure who this is, but I see a Tommy and Julio Hernandez. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to vote for Julio Hernandez. I'm just being honest. That's a systematic thing that I have to deal with within me. You know what I mean? And mind you, and going a little bit further with that, I was married to a white woman for 18 years. I got an interracial daughter. I can't tell you how many times, bruh. The first time when I remember taking her home to Mississippi, Marcus, I don't know if you remember this or not, and we sitting off in KFC.
It was Popeye. It was Popeye.
Thank you, Marcus.
Because me and Nigga both told me, we was like, bruh, like, why is this woman? But go ahead, tell the story.
So her and her daughter, they were just staring, and I really wasn't paying no attention because I guess at that point, I was used to it at that time of people just staring and stuff. I remember Mark and them saying something, and to me, I would laugh because all they doing is looking. They just looking, and the kid looking like, Mama, You know,
Exactly.
what the hell is going? Because me and Sarah holding hands, we holding each other and whatnot. And no, I dealt this so many times. Marcus, I don't know if you remember this time before we got married. I don't think you was paying no attention because your wrist had broken and you was in a little pain. But do you remember the dude that drove by that time and screamed out at me? Do you remember what he said to me?
When was the guys together, or when we?
It was just when it's me and you, and we picked up Corey from the airport. So it was just us three coming back home. The guy hit us in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember getting out the car and stuff like that. We had the police coming. A car rolled by. It was two white kids. There were young kids in there. And I still specifically remember this kid saying, he said, "That's what you get. You shouldn't be having the car anyway, nigga."
What?
And now, mind you, though, and I just laughed because, like I said, I can't reach him. So at that point, I gotta laugh because he on the other side of the road. But I looked at him, Margaret. I'm thinking about what you said. Dude, you driving a Yugo, homie. You driving a fucking Yugo, dog. I mean, to me, that stuff is so comical because you talking about me because, I mean, you think you talking about me, telling me I don't deserve this, but you driving a Yugo, so you're happy with your life the way it is? Because, not saying nothing wrong, once again, nothing wrong with Yugo, but it ain't no motherfucking BMW. You feel me? So, so for that, I knew why he did it. I knew exactly why he did it. But it still didn't register to me, like, you ain't even got nothing, Holmes. You ain't got nothing.
Now I can't believe I ain't here. Like, you're right. I was in pain, so that's probably the option why I did that. Because wow.
Yeah, but they was riding on the other side of the road, so anyway, we couldn't get to him even if we wanted to. So it wasn't like one of those things. It was just when I told him he was driving, I laughed and I like, you know what, man, I better go marry my white girl, man.
And
That's where someone gonna marry.
I'll go marry my white girl. I ain't got time to do shit, homie.
Oh God, that was stupid.
Because I mean, I ain't never, I don't think nobody. Evidently, some people in our family thought different way about me being married to Sarah, but they never said nothing to me. They said stuff to my family members, and I didn't know about that until later on. But once again, that goes to say that racism goes both ways.
Both ways.
It does. It goes both ways, and I'm not justifying racism, but I can almost understand why some black people have a problem with white people because all the stuff we've been through. Years and years and years. I'm sorry, hundreds and hundreds of years. But it just, like you said, it just doesn't make sense how you mad at us because we're doing any and everything we possibly can to get ahead or just to get to where you are. Just to get what you got or try to, you know what I'm saying? We like I said, we got to work extra hard just to get half of what you got. And then from that point on, what I have learned in my tenure being, in the corporate America stuff, once people know that you're about the work and the job and stuff, I'm not saying these people are not racist, but they know where their bread is buttered at. So when they come into a serious issue or need something fixed fast in a hurry, they go into the guy, no matter who that person is, to take care of that issue.
Right.
So that's one thing I've always learned. I don't let people dictate how I operate with work or, my family and stuff like that. Because I couldn't say, you know what, I know this is going to be a lot to deal with being in an interracial marriage. And it might be too much for me. But y'all know how I am. I'm not bothered easily at all by nobody. It's just not a thing, man.
So it's something you said here. Like I know we're from Mississippi, right? So when you said something about being judging you because you was marrying a white woman, let's go back to where we came from. It was still a lot of, especially our senior family members, are still divided on that race.
Correct.
And they were affected by what happened in the 60s and things like that. So they still carry that trauma, almost like PTSD from that.
Right.
So to try to tell someone move on, it's kind of hard because we have family members that has been beaten by the white person, been really traumatized, especially growing up in Mississippi. And one of our uncles they thought they had to move him because he got in a fight with a white guy. So there's still trauma instilled within them. So it's hard to move on away from accepting everybody, because it's like Malcolm X said this. He said basically you have a whole bunch of snakes in there. All of them might be good, but you never know which one going to bite you. So you have to be careful for all of them.
Yeah.
So, and that's where that is. I got another question for you guys, because Marcus brought this up and it made me think about my military day. When I first got to Beaufort, South Carolina, walked in my room, and a big rebel flag was hanging on the wall. What do you look when you see the rebel flag? Do you see racism, or you just see a old country redneck?
You talking about the Confederate flag with the stars and the X?
The big X.
Okay.
The Confederate flag.
Now, me personally, like you said, like JP said, is one of those things. It's how everybody's mind works. I automatically just feel like you gotta be racist because, and I say this because, I feel like if you're flying that flag, that tells me that you believe in that ideology during that time.
Bam.
That tells me that you're still down for whatever that flag meant.
Represented.
You know,
right.
So for me, and like you said, a lot of times, because I've talked to some people, you know, like you said, I've seen on their truck and stuff, and of course they greet you, say hey and everything, you know, but deep down, I still feel like, okay, man, and like you said, I want to act so bad. Okay, what does that flag mean to you, though? Because to me, that flag means nothing but racism. To me, that's all that flag means. It means you don't want nothing to change from how it was, and you want to make sure we stay in our place at all times.
And at the end of the day, I believe it's more about what you're talking about, Margaret. It's the perception than what the actuality is. Cause if I'm a white guy and black guys come around me, and let's say even if I had the flag and I just felt like it's just my heritage, and I'm not even a racist person or anything like that. The perception of a black guy walking in and seeing that in my house, you gotta understand it. You can't say, well, I'm sure not understanding why. Oh, motherfucker, you just seen enough TV to know. Or I mean, the thing is, you just know. You just know. Even him as a kid, Marcus, you know, he probably grew up in a town that had no blacks or whatever. Probably, and you don't know. That's what I'm saying. I got that part of everyone just don't know. But the perception from us seeing that, automatically saying, this motherfucker racist, dog. Straight up, right. No questions asked. That's going straight to my brain. So that I totally agree with. I don't think anything else. And maybe you have a conversation with him, and he kind of. And although I'm really not going to be like, man, I understand what you're saying, bro, but that is very, very, very offensive. Mm-hmm. Could you please take that down, or whatever the case may be, talk it out and stuff like that. Especially with young people, because like I said, young people's minds are fixated based on their parents and how they was brought up. I do believe a lot of people can be changed, especially at an early age. But if you got like the Klan and all that stuff, that's something on a whole different spectrum. I don't think there's no coming back for most of them on that. Although some do, I believe, but I just don't. That's just the way they roll. And like you said, Marcus, most of them, they're staying in those broken down homes. They're driving broken down cars. They're working at some. They're nothing doing. They're not getting anything really out of life the way we trying to get out of life. You know what I mean?
I want to be mad, like you said, and they're mad. It acting like it's our fault that they haven't gotten ahead in life. And like you said, it's like I don't have anything to do with your with you progressing in life. I have nothing to do with that. That's a personal issue that you got to deal with.
And also, I did a little because I wanted to talk about a couple like racially motivated incidents and stuff, or the numbers, I should say, of the percentage of victims. Of course, among the race-based incidents, and this is all coming from the FBI, but this was before that cross-eyed dude took over, which I don't believe anything else is coming out of that place now. Was Patel the one who does it now?
Patel.
Of course, Black African Americans consist of 51% of all that. They said white victims are 15% of hate, against other races, whether it's us hating white people, Asians hating white people, and I still believe a lot of that is based on it's a give and take thing. Like they always tell us you got to be bigger than them, you got to be whatever. I'm not. I don't have that in me. I don't know how to be bigger. If you call me a nigga, I don't know how to be bigger. I don't. If you call me a nigga, you ready for these fista because we about to go down. It's just that simple. Hispanic count for roughly 20%. And Asian is, they say it's only kind of a 6 to 7%, but I even think with them it's on the rise right now because a lot of people are hating Asian American people or Asians as a whole. They just, I don't get it. These guys, these different races, they just like us. We come to this country. All of us were immigrants when it first started out anyway. I mean, even white folks were immigrants. They don't own they don't own America. They think they do, but they don't. They fucking came and took it. That's all they did. Right. Same thing that old boy, orange guy, is trying to do right now with all these different places that we going there we going to Venezuela pulling out the president. We going over there, all that stuff, dog. What are we doing?
Exactly. Because you brought that one up. I still been wondering, how can anybody do that? How can you go into another country,
take out the president?
Like I said, you asked me, you steal their president.
Yes.
And bring it back. So I could ask Nick, I said, now what happened if they came and caught him somewhere and took him back? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's the same thing. You can't get mad. You can't say, well, like, no, you did it. Right. You started it. And people say, you hit first.
Right. Makes no sense to me, bro. That I would never, ever get. But once again, I understand who's sitting in that office right now. So
say the flag for you don't say, well, what do you say about that?
So when I was younger, I was like, oh, it's just a redneck. But as I got older, became more educated and things like that, I'm not 17, 18 years old anymore. So I realized that you're actually calling me a nigger in my face, and that's the way I look at it. It's straight up, because the flag represents slavery. I do not want to abolish slavery. Blacks are inferior to me. So when I see that flag, that's what I see. That you think I am inferior to you. And for somebody to hang that flag in my face, oh yeah, I'm automatic thinking you calling me a nigger. That you think I'm inferior to you.
Cuz. Going down 75, that big ass flag that flies across the...
Yes. And nobody can touch this flag. I don't know if you ever come down 75 to Tampa, on the right-hand side, there will be, sometimes they switch it up, but most of the time it's there.
He said, sometimes they switch it up. Hold on, switch up with what, say?
I think a Trump flag there before.
Oh,
it's
my God.
Racist.
Oh, my God.
It represents
race.
It represents race. Okay.
Because where it came from, like the guy who actually owned that part of land, and it cannot be touched.
Because it's private property.
It's private property, and they fly it, and hey, it's still there.
Wow, I saw it today. I just came from down there today.
Wow.
But it's just one thing you look at it, you just go. I mean, now. Because we've been here so long, so it's just. But it's
I don't even see it until somebody bring it up.
Pay no attention, but I know it's there. It's always there.
I'm gonna go a step further. In June 2025, do you guys remember Trump them changing the Army bases name to Confederate leaders?
Mm-hmm.
So what is that telling? Again, when you represent the Confederate in any kind of way, this is me, this is my opinion, I feel like you're telling me that I am inferior to you. And if you want me to serve in the United States military and I'm on a Confederate base, a Confederate leader base name, how am I able to perform my job when I'm thinking to myself, man, you don't even appreciate me. You got somebody else's name up there their minds. What just say Robert E. Lee. He was a Confederate leader. How am I supposed to take that? You know, that's why I sometimes look at Stone Mountain different.
I did too, say. As I got older, I did. When I was young, we go there, it was fun, play.
You know what it was.
Right.
Right, until I understood it. You're right.
Look, and even if the cats only, you know what I'm saying, the cats who, things are carved into the thing are all Confederate people, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I want to say that's why I would think that they stopped using that and started using the quote-unquote drones to do a laser show. You know, other than...
They never said it, but you know that's why they stopped.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because at first it was always about you see the horses and everything, and, you know, picking them. So, yeah, man, I don't know. It's crazy. It's just pure crazy. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to say something fast too. Just about the bases. And y'all do know that I haven't looked it up, but I'm gonna say it's probably I'm willing to guess over 50%. All military bases. I keep saying all. Most military bases were Native American, quote unquote reservations or what? I don't say reservations. It was Native American land. It was where they stayed.
I'm not
and
surprised.
It's like, you know, that of course they took it over, renamed it, and you said about the orange guy, like you said, say about earlier. You also know he did go in there too and told all of the national park people, you got to take down all this stuff, telling about the real truth about how what happened to these people.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And they were even, you know, pushing back like, okay, well, but this is history. This is true history. But he like, nah, we don't need to promote that kind of stuff. We need to promote, you know what I'm saying, our ideology going forward.
Yep. And it's almost like you trying to wash away the image or the blood that was shedded because of your greed and because of your hatred towards a different race. Because if I can take away the history of it and say it didn't exist when we know it exists, it can change the perception of how people see me. But the blood is there. The blood has been shed, and people has been tortured, traumatized because you looked at them as inferior, and you took what they had. And I think about indigenous people that was here before that, like JV was saying. So many people died because of greed of our light cousins. They literally took away this land from these people, killed them, and used them and and this is where we have to, especially blacks, so we have to understand this. We have to understand when we're actually being used so that they can get a gain from us. If you think about slavery itself, the white people didn't go out and capture most of the slave. They use other blacks to trap our own people so that they can capture us. And when they captured all that they needed, they turned their backs on them and got the people who actually captured. So we have to understand and get a mindset that, hey, all because our white cousin, you think our white cousin means well? No, they have learned to manipulate us in a way that it will actually use us to turn on ourselves. We need to start looking upon ourselves and trusting our brothers and sisters as we continue to grow in this system, that we need to look out for one another and not listen to our light-skinned cousins.
I got a question for y'all, Jay. I'm sorry.
No, grandma.
Do y'all believe? Because I've been seeing this a lot too, and cause Nicky watch a lot of like YouTube things. Do y'all believe? Going back to what they said too about, you know, they're trying to erase it. You know, we talked about, like I said, he was taking all the stuff out of the parks and stuff about, you know, how everything really happened. So you think also that's one of those tactics that, you know, the next generation coming up after us won't have that information because they probably won't look it up, you know what I'm saying, if it's not in their faith. And so they will really be, you know, the generation that said, man, we need to get past that, man. You know, we need to quit looking back to it. And I don't know if y'all haven't seen it, but Tyler Perry movie, Joe's Road Trip.
That's so good. A good movie.
Okay, if y'all haven't seen that, man, he went all the way. I mean, he went all the way with that one with Joe. And I'm saying to say because his son was one of those guys who grew up privileged. You know, like JB said, daddy worked hard to get a certain level in life. Had him in a great community, of course, which was majority light skinned cousins. And the young man, of course, all his friends were light skinned cousins. And he was under that impression that he should know history, or we should quit talking about that. And and he was very, and like I said, and I've heard that on the radio. Y'all joked me last time about the radio, but like I told you, it's informational. But on the radio station the other day too, Ryan Cameron show, he has a young lady on there with him. Somebody called in and was talking about that. Do we think that the young people are getting out of really knowing what's going on? And the young lady on there was with that ideology of, she think we need to move past it. She thinks we need to stop harboring on that type of stuff. And like I said, in my mind, I'm just like, how can you say that when this stuff is still going on? Like you say, a lot of times they try not to call you the N-word in your face, but where it really counts, like I said, with our dollars and stuff, that's where they hit us at with the economy. So do y'all think like I said, the younger generation is going to not be as educated, I guess, or as what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't, Marcus.
Okay.
The reason I say that is he's trying his best in 4 years to just do everything he possibly can, right? Mark, you cannot erase hundreds and hundreds of years of what didn't really happen and what's been put into history books. Because when he leaves, Marcus,
JV, they take it out of
they removing this stuff out of history.
But go ahead though. But they're taking it out of the school history.
No, I got that part. But that's right now, Marcus. They do republishing of those books after so many years, correct?
Correct.
When Marcus, I do not believe in 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, those books won't go back to normal books or the way they were with the true history of America with slaves.
No.
And I just don't think
I don't think so either.
I just don't.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I just think that's something like now he started early with all the stuff he was doing. Just doing everything all at once. Everything all at once. And I really believe he's tried to pull a Hitler type move of, if I get the government to just, next thing you know, I can be here forever, then I can just, but I just don't think we have more people in this country that are not like him than is like him, regardless of him being Republican. Because I want to say, when it came to the popular vote, he didn't win the popular vote. He won the electoral votes, which is something totally fucking different. Which I wish I've never really gotten into the weeds of why we do electoral votes versus actual no shit raw numbers. Because that's how it should be. I don't understand electoral votes.
Another form of manipulation.
Systemic racism.
That's
it.
That's the only reason it's there.
That's
the
it.
only reason it's there. So, yeah, to me, no. Say.
Well, slavery within the history books are getting taken away. And like JV basically was saying, if he can take away our history and tell their story the way they want to tell it, tomorrow's generation, they're not going to look into it because they're going to take for what it is. It's just like us. We got to age and start realizing, hey, let's understand more about slavery, understand more about the civil rights, things of that nature. We didn't do it when we were in school. So we got older and tried to learn more about it. But if you start at the beginning and take it away early and don't even give an ounce of information, at least we had a small portion, very small portion nowadays. But if you take away everything, kids are not going to be interested in it. They're going to be actually oblivious to that information. That's the truth of it is. So whatever they the way it is today, that's the way they're going to go with, and it's going to move on. And like JB said, those books are not getting republished. And that side of history, and it's go back to us. We take ownership of our own people We have to educate our children
Damn,
moving
that's it.
forward.
That's it, say.
So do y'all think
Yeah.
then we should like they fly the, because I was talking about this too, but I have crazy minds sometimes. How they fly the Confederate flag, right? I always wonder. I'll be like, well, you don't see none of us with Malcolm X flags just flying in front of our house. You don't see none of us with there's no flag, but no Martin Luther King flag just flying in front of our house. So I guess I was worried about that too. I was like, what if us as black people started putting our flags out in front of our houses and on our cars and trucks and be like, so at that point would they think, especially with Malcolm X, would they think at that point, we're definitely like, you play games if you want to. It's gonna be by any means necessary.
It's funny that you say that, Mark, because I know we're at our time. We only have 5 minutes left. You remember back when Malcolm X, and this is like the late 80s, early 90s, we used to wear the medallion with the Malcolm X and the
Or the
African one.
The African.
Out of African?
Oh, yeah, African, the African symbol.
Yeah, we had both of them, right? You remember? I don't know if y'all remember that this guy's like, well, that's racist. He didn't like white people, or you're in America and things like that. He really looked down at us because we used to wear those type of necklaces in like rap videos, and people it became a fad, right? And they really looked down on us because they were looking at that segregation. But yet you can still fly a Confederate flag and expect me to not think segregation. I know that we don't wear those necklaces no more like we used to, but we need to start back, because if they can wear what they want or fly what they want or name a base off a Confederate leader, we should be able to fly something to show our heritage or our people in our way.
But we can though. There's nobody said nobody can stop us from doing that.
Nobody can, but it's like y'all remember this? I know we're running out of time.
Black Panther?
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
And
Okay.
The Black Lives Matter movement, right? And how they really bashed that movement because it was about segregation. It really was. They tried to,
but it wasn't though. Say, I know you know that. I'm just
yes,
going on.
I know that. It's just how they tried to make it seem like it's a.
No, say, you're right. I'm just going on. Keep talking. Keep talking.
They just tried to make it seem like it's a terrorist group. Remember?
Yes.
They tried to say this was a former terror group, just like Antifa. Whoever know? I still don't know what Antifa is.
I don't need to say.
I don't know.
And QAnon. Who in the hell is QAnon, bro?
I have no idea.
When I first heard that, I was like, who in the?
What?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say.
So with that being said, the Black Lives Movement became a terrorist group, and they used that to. And you don't hear it like we used to. Because they tried to dismantle it in a way so that we cannot use it as a way to, I say, unite.
But like I said, that's only been the thing in the last couple of years since old boy stepped into the arena. Because it went from that to all lives matter, police lives matter,
Blue lives matter.
blue lives matter. And I'm thinking, that's like I say, that is the systemic portion of it. So no matter what, even if we did, I believe the systemic racism on their end is going to try to. I hate to say this, a one-up. They're one-uppers. That's all they are. They're one-uppers. That's all they are. They want to one-up us. They use our shit or try to use it against us. I'm thinking, bro, shut the fuck up. It don't make any sense. Racism don't make any sense. I don't understand it. I don't try to understand it. I try to teach my daughter. She's not going to be oblivious to what's going on in the world. Let's just say that first of all. I don't give a damn what the fuck she learned in school. When I sit down and talk to my kid, I'm asking how your day was. Did anybody say anything, whatnot? Just in case, you got to look out for X, Y, and Z. And I'm not going to let my daughter walk into a world being green.
Right.
It just, me personally, like Satan said, it is up to us as parents, as leaders, as African-American men, women, to teach these young, not only black kids, white kids, Asian kids, whatever, because what if one of us decide to adopt any race? Because if I ever went out there and adopted a kid, I wouldn't honestly go out and be like, I want to,
Teach him about it.
I want a kid to love. I love children. I love kids. I don't care about the skins. I go out to the football field, they all love me because I'm just always laughing and giggling, talking shit. I don't see race. Not saying that I haven't done or said anything. Like I don't talk about race as far as, man, I can't stand that C word, calling them that. I don't do that. That ain't my thing. We wasn't brought up that way. We don't talk about people like that because I respect people. But I have had issues when somebody said something to me, and I might have said something back to them that was racist, and it was only clap back because I was upset. But that's something also we need to watch as ourselves because we can't let them dictate who we are as people.
Can't let them steal your joy.
Correct. But yeah, same like you said. I think we are at our time, though, brother.
We at our time. Summary of today for me. I feel like we need to, like you said, we need to keep ourselves educated because we will be removed from school books eventually. Our history will be. I feel like racism still exists today. We have to be mindful. It may not be. I mean, there are times when they will call you the N-word right there in your face, but it's more going to be systematic. I can't get my tongue tied today. But we have to be mindful. It's still there, and there's still people that are going to look at us as inferiors as black. Not only blacks, but brown, Asian, and any type or yellow, whatever how you want to put it.
Right.
You're going to have people that are going to be able to look at you, but you got to be mindful and be able to handle it in a way where you can use, I would say, the laws to help you, but sometimes the laws is against you. But you just got to be mindful and fight a good fight. Sometimes you got to use these hands. Marcos.
Okay, first off, people, we don't want everybody using these hands.
No, don't do it. Don't use the hand.
Like JD
I said
earlier,
sometimes.
Absolutely got to.
Hey, look, like JD said, we want to use this more than anything, guys. So let's go back to that. But definitely, there is racism still going on today. So, like you said, I don't care what nobody says. It still goes on with people, with economics, with life. And like you said, the only way I think it's going to get past is, again, continue to educate ourselves and our people on it. Hope that they listen and understand. And like I said, I guess have okay, say this too then. Also, we really need to educate our youngins on who we as a people really were. Because again, I feel like in school, like you said, when they talked about slavery, when they touched on it, because they didn't talk about it, but when they touched on slavery and things like that, during that time, I would feel kind of little, I guess you want to say, kind of embarrassed a little bit to be black, I guess you want to say, because I was like, dang, man, that's all we were good for. We were just, able just to go out there and just work. Like, we couldn't come up with stuff, because again, didn't know we invented half this crap that everybody uses. We invented it. And I saw this one of the old they talk shows. One of them ladies one time was telling them, a racist lady. She was like, well, if you truly want to be racist, then stop using anything that was invented by a black person or anybody other than your race. If you want to be that way, if you thinking, like you said, we are inferior to you, stop using anything we ever done, and you tell me what they're gonna do with their life. They won't have no air. They won't have no refrigerator. They wouldn't have half the stuff in your house would not be there.
True.
So what I'm trying to say though is, we really need to educate. Like I said, continue to educate ourselves, but educate them on who we really are, on how powerful we really are, on how smart we really are, on where, even back in Africa days, how much influence we had on the they're coming to culture now, on the cultural period. Because again, people think about Egypt, like I did back in the day. I thought Egypt was in freaking close to Europe and, you know what I'm saying, like in where Saudi Arabia and stuff at. Man, Egypt is in Africa.
In Africa.
But they never really broke it down like that to us. So to say that these Egyptian people were this and that, okay, I'm gonna be done with this after this too. Just like the movie Cleopatra. Who played her when that movie first came out? Y'all remember who that was?
Elizabeth Taylor.
Okay. I'm thinking, okay. One until again, educate myself. And then I finally saw a reenactment, so to say, recently, where somebody was trying to get more accurate portrayal. It was a beautiful, beautiful brown-skinned sister who was playing her, and they was letting them know that she actually was a brown-skinned sister.
Wow.
That had all of that knowledge, it had all that power during that time. So again, we have got to educate ourselves and our people on who we really are. Not who they say we are, who we really are. We were, I hate to put it that way, but we were everything, man.
Yeah.
We were the people who was showing you how to do stuff. We were the engineers. We were the cats building the pyramids. Wasn't no caterpillar like Rick Ross say. Wasn't no caterpillars back then. Wasn't no bulldozers. So how did you get that brick up to the next brick? I don't know, but they did it. So we have got to educate ourselves, man, that we are more than enough. We actually are the upper echelon. I mean, if you want to really talk about this, we are the upper echelon. Not to say, like I said again, it's not to put anybody else's down. It's just to say, I don't want you to keep putting on me that I'm less than you.
All right.
I'm sorry for the rant, guys.
No, that's all good.
I get very, very emotional about this type of stuff and passionate.
He's passionate. He's passionate. Oh boy, ain't nothing wrong with that, cuz. I'm glad to see you passionate about something. JB?
Of course, racism still exists, man. Across the board, again, blacks, whites, Asian, every race has some type of, whether it's true racism, systemic racism, or whatever, but it is racism across the board for everybody. Like Marcus said, Marcus, I think Sagan said it too. It's up to us to ensure that we keep our kids, our culture on the true knowledge and the true things. Because even like you say, even when we was in school, we learned so little in school. But as you start going on and moving on with the rest of your life, when you start doing your own research, that's when you find out about, oh my God, he made this, he made that. They're never going to talk about that in school. And to me, even school is their program. So whatever. But what we decided to do, we're like, okay, since school is so important, we're going to just put everything we into it. Even though sometimes, no matter how much school we did, we still got blocked, but we never stopped, Mark. And that's why when you said the thing about, you put any race back against the wall, they going to come out with all type of ideas, all type of new things the world has never ever seen. And I think just that alone has made us who we are today. I love being a black man. I love my people. I love all of us. And I love us. I want us always to be smart about what we do, not be ignorant. Don't
Correct.
just talk off the cuff. You look online, because everything on the internet ain't fucking real. If somebody sees something out there, and even if you see one of your friends or something say something out there, you can be like, hey, bro, just, do some little research before you put that out there, because that ain't an accurate statement. I know for me, every time on my websites, I talk about facts. And these are things that are actual, factual data that is out there. I don't believe in making shit up. And if it's a made up thing, I don't talk about it because I don't believe in it. And you want to go back to the day, I don't know what color Jesus was. He ain't black. Even if he was not called, quote unquote, a black man, he was not a white man either. You feel me? So I don't know what they may have been called back then, but every time Jesus was talking about Marcus, what they said about his skin, bruh,
He was bronze.
bronze.
Yeah, bronze.
And bronze and
hair.
it's like sheep.
Say.
Wool
Say.
like sheep.
War
Say.
like hell,
Say.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying Margaret. I'm not saying Jesus was black either. You feel me? I don't know what they would call, but I just know Jesus depiction of how he was in our household. Now I can't say in our household because Mama didn't play. Even
In
our
the church, JV, in the churches,
black.
JV, all the churches. You think about that. Think about any church you probably been to, even like you know what I'm saying, especially black
When
churches.
we were younger, yeah.
He is that guy
The
that they
white guy.
always sell him. And like you said,
Yes.
I've always
On
wanted
the
to know,
fan.
like,
You
why
got
is
church
it?
fan.
Yeah, white is a white Jesus, you know.
And it's like why he can't be okay? Like you said, like
I'm gonna say
why he can't
is
be
it called
mixed?
fair?
Hey, let's say
Fair skin
why he
Jesus?
can't be mixed.
I don't know thank you, Marcus.
Why he can't be mixed, man? Like that would really help me out.
Why can't be interracial Jesus?
Oh, and whoever's listening to us as well, I ask my wife this all the time too. Somebody please, Tyler Perry, please. Y'all got all this money, y'all do all these movies. Please, please, please. I cannot watch my biblically historic movies anymore because, like JD said, I got a little racism in me. I can't watch them, man, because everybody is depicted as a light-skinned cousin. Why can't nobody do a real story, real movie? And like I said again, like JD said, I don't know what, but I know he wasn't this or that. Give me a mixed person.
Yes.
Make a story for me.
I'm
Please.
okay with that. Yeah.
Please.
Like I said, we're not saying that black or white. We're just saying that we just know for sure he wasn't white. That's all I can say. We know for sure he was not white.
That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking, man. I just wanted some look. I want to see some DEI.
Mark. And I know as far as his hair was concerned, unless Miss Janine did his hair. I'm just playing, y'all. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Guys, we love everybody. We definitely love everyone. We love
For sure.
every race. Like I said, and like JB said, we do. Everybody has some racism in them. Everybody has some prejudice in them.
I'm type of racism where it is.
Prejudice.
Brother, sister,
Never,
bad
definitely
lady.
not trying to let it downplay us or anybody else's life.
Right.
Right.
I truly believe, I hear me all the time, I believe in love above anything else first. Because I always have to tell JV that when me, I'm talking about stuff. And like you said, he gets passionate about stuff. Like with JV, we got to love him, man. Like, love going to conquer it. It might not look like it now, but love is going to conquer it all, man, because that's what God wants and that's what he tells us to do, man. Because I want to say the most important thing he say is love your neighbor like you love yourself.
Love
and if
yourself.
you do that, man, I don't see, I mean, it's a wonderful world, but it could be could y'all imagine how beautiful this world would be if that simple phrase would get, everybody would just crave that. Love your neighbor as you love yourself.
And I just hate the fact that I don't think we're ever going to be around to see it.
I'm not saying we are, but like I said, I'm just look, we got to put it out there, right? Because there's power
in the tongue.
Right, cuz?
That's right. That's power in the tongue.
I got to put it out there. Look, like I said, this is my look, and Jay-Z say, this is my passion talking. I feel like Farrakhan talking to Mike Wallace. All right. I'm done. Look, as my wife would say, I'm off my soapbox.
Well, you remind me of your uncle right now. All I see is Darrell right now. But guys, hey, it's been a great other episode. Thank you. Thank you for your input. And those who out there who's listening, make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe to our page. Go to Facebook and follow us there. We'll be dropping content, like I said, every week. Different posts every week. So go out there and support us. You have anything you want to for us to talk about? Please add it into our chat. We'll look at it. Make sure we get it done. But until then, my brothers, I appreciate you guys. Love you. And I said peace.
Love you guys, man.
Hey.